Hey y'all, welcome back. My name's Sarah and this is my channel, The Sassy Bookworm. So today I'm going to be doing the Reader Problems book tag. So I was actually just kind of looking for a tag video to do and this one sounded really fun. No, I was not tagged by anyone, but I just really wanted to do a tag video. So I'll leave a link to the original tag down below just so you guys can go check that out. And without further ado, I'm going to get straight into the questions. So question number 1 is you have 2,000 books on your TBR. How in the world do you decide on what to read next? To answer this question, it honestly just depends on what I'm feeling when I finish a book. If I have finished a book that I'm reading in a series, then I will go ahead and just go to the next book if it's already out or if I have it already. I go through these moods where I'm like, I want to read books about vampires, and then I'll go through moods where I'm like, oh, I just want to read a good little cutesy novel, or I want to read a mystery. Like, it honestly just depends on how I'm feeling. I do have a pretty set list of genres that I read, but I look for different aspects that I'm feeling at the time. So it's honestly all it is. It just depends on what I'm feeling. Question number 2. You're halfway through a book and you're not loving it. Do you continue to read it or do you stop reading it? Okay, so for me, this one is pretty easy. I will usually just quit the book. It doesn't happen very often. I think I've put down maybe 3 or 4 books in the time that I've been like a serious reader that I just haven't really loved. But to me, it's not fair to that book or the author if I'm just not loving the book and I'm trying to slug my way through it and you're just not going to enjoy it because you already know that you're not feeling this book right now. It could just be a time that I'm going through that I'm not loving it. I mean, I could love it after I've read a book that's similar to it, or just something could happen that I could end up loving this book. So I usually quit and then I will always try to give it a second chance in the future. Question number 3. The end of the year is coming and you're so close but so far away on your Goodreads reading challenge. Do you try to catch up and how? Yes, I definitely do try to catch up. I took a great pride in it in 2015, I think. I took a year off from it last year, so it wasn't that big of a deal to me. But I am going to try to start it back up this year. If it's the end of the year and I'm really close to my reading challenge, then I usually will pick up some graphic novels because I still count those as books, even though they have more pictures. I mean, they're still called novels for a reason. Or I'll pick up like short little fluffy books that are going to be really easy to read through in a snap. Or I'll pick up a book that I just know that I will go through quickly. Like, honestly, I could reread Fangirl again and get through it in 2-3 days. So yes, I definitely do try to catch up. Question number 4. The covers of a series don't match. How do you cope? So when it says that the covers on the series don't match, I assume that it's talking about like the design of the covers themselves. But to be quite honest, it honestly bothers me more if I have half of a series in paperback and half of it in hardcover, just because I don't like the way it looks on my shelf. And usually when that happens, it's just because I started a reading series and I got it in paperback and then didn't know that the other books weren't out yet. So when they came out, I had to get them in hardcover because, you know, I'm just not a patient person when it comes to waiting for a book, I guess. I don't know. If matching covers of the books do exist, I may not buy them immediately, but I would try to just go back and go through series and be like, oh, this cover doesn't match, so I'd like to go get the other cover that matches and maybe give the one that I'm getting rid of to someone, or you can donate it or anything like that. And if there's not any matching covers for it, like there was a change in the middle of the series and they haven't redone the other ones, then they'll just go on my bookshelf and then things will get sat in front of them so that I don't have to look at them, but they're still there. Question number 5. Everyone and their mother loves a book you don't really like. Who do you bond with over shared feelings? So when it talks about not liking books, it takes a whole lot for me not to enjoy a book. Like I said, I've put down maybe 3 or 4 books in the span of my reading time that I just haven't enjoyed and didn't finish. Sure, there are some books that are popular that I don't think they should be as popular as they are, but that doesn't mean I necessarily don't like them. I just like them less, if that makes any sense at all. And to be quite honest, I really don't have any good friends that read to talk to about books. So usually if I don't like a book, I want to know what other people are saying or what they're thinking, then I usually just go to the internet to look. Question number 6. You're reading a book and you're about to start crying in public. What do you do? I don't don't read in public that often just because if I'm out in public, I'm usually working or I'm doing something that I need to do where I can't just read, you know? But if it ever does happen, I just close the book, gather my feelings back up. If my eyes are getting watery, I will just wait till they kind of dry up a little bit, and then I'll dive back into the book. And honestly, if I cry after that, it's worth crying over, and it really doesn't matter if I'm in public. At that point, it's their problem to deal with, not mine. Question number 7. A sequel of a book you love just came out, but you forgot a lot from the previous book. Do you reread, skip the novel, or try to find a synopsis online of the previous books? I will always reread the previous book because I really like the idea of marathoning and just staying in that world for an extended period of time. And then I feel like if I look up a synopsis, I'm not going to get the full experience because there are some things that could be missed. There could be a little inside joke from the first book that crosses over to the second book that a synopsis wouldn't tell you. Skipping the sequel is just not an option, especially if it's a book that I really, really love. I'm gonna have to say I definitely reread the previous book. Question number 8. You do not want anyone borrowing your books. How do you politely tell people no when they ask? So in the past, I've had many books that either haven't made it back to me or I haven't got them back for a really long time. So after I had a couple of people that just didn't bring my books back, I basically stopped letting anyone borrow my books because I don't have the money to keep going out and buying these books that people are losing. Go get your own book. I mean, I guess they were when they were stealing mine, but hey, whatevs. Funny story though, I actually made my best friend in high school sign out books before. I know, that sounds crazy, but it's true. I actually had her write down the books that she was taking with her, and then I could kind of picture in my mind what condition they left in so that if anything happened to them, I would know, because my books are my children. I don't want them looking dingy or have something spilled on them, have the pages sticky, have them bent, and I absolutely hate broken spines because it just looks so rough on a bookshelf. And then I also had a list of rules that she had to follow, like don't dog-ear the pages, don't break the spines, don't spill anything on them, obviously. Like I literally had a whole list of things that I was just like, don't do this, don't do that, make sure you do this, make sure you do that. Like it was like I was sending a kid off to daycare. Like honestly, book people are crazy. So yeah, no, I just don't touch my books. Just don't touch them. That's just all there is to it. Don't touch them. Question number 9. Reading ADD. You've picked up and put down 5 books in the last month. How do you get over your reading slump? To get over my reading slump, which I've actually had to do recently, I usually pick up a book that I know that I love and that's not too intimidating. That's not like a whole different world that you have to try to immerse yourself in. The book I usually go for is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell because I just absolutely love Fangirl and it's been one of my favorite books since it came out. When I first got the book, I read it 2 times in a row. That's just how much I absolutely love the book. So if anything's ever gonna get me over a reading slump, it's definitely Fangirl. Question number 10. There are so many new books coming out that you're dying to read. How many do you actually buy? So with this one, I'm gonna say it kind of depends on book sales on different websites for part of it. And it depends on what kind of books they are. Like if it's a book in a series that I'm reading currently, like I'm definitely gonna go get the next book. I'll definitely pick that one up. If it's a book in a series in general that I've already read or already have all of them anyway, then I will usually go ahead and pick it up. Maybe not on release date, but definitely within like a couple of weeks of release date. Or if it's even just like a standalone by an author that I just absolutely love. Like if Rainbow Rowell puts a book, I'm going to get it as soon as it comes out. It's gonna happen. So it honestly just depends on the book about how many I would buy. And finally, question number 11. After you've bought the books you can't wait to get to, how long do they sit on your shelf before you actually read them? So with this one, I'm gonna say it kind of depends on what I'm currently reading. If it's a series that I'm currently reading, then I would go ahead and finish the books that I had to get to that one. And if I'm not reading anything at the time, like if I went and bought a standalone book, I would probably read it as soon as I got it. One time when I was on vacation, I'd actually already finished my book. And so we went to Books A Million the day after I finished my book. And so one of the books I got, I picked up straight after being there. So that's all the questions on the reader problems tag. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. I had a good time trying to think about the answers that I would give for this, but it's also fun to see what other people think of reader problems, because for some people, dog-earing pages doesn't bother them. For some people, it doesn't bother them if the series doesn't match. Leave a comment down below whether you've done this book tag, or if you just want to tell me what your answers would be in this tag. I definitely want to hear them. Hit a like button if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more tag videos from me, hit that subscribe button down below. If you want to see more content from me in general, I try to upload at least once a week. I hope that you will subscribe and come on this journey with me as I figure out who I'm going to be on YouTube. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day, and until next time, I will see you guys then. Bye. You have reading ADD. Question number 9. Reading ADD. ADD. That scared the crap out of me.